Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dec, and if you enjoy talking about movies in any way, shape or form, you're going to feel right at home here. If you enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos from me. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another episode of quick movie reviews. This is a video series where I go through and review and give little short reviews of all the films that I've seen recently that I've not had time to do full videos on. So with that out of the way, let's jump into it. And I'd also just quickly like to mention that I do apologise for the lack of videos over the last couple of weeks. I have just been so busy. My life has just been a whirlwind of things going on and doing. Like, I've been in London and I've just been doing all these different things. So I do apologise for the lack of videos. Hopefully from this point going on, I should be able to get back on form doing videos regularly for you guys. So with that out of the way, let's finally jump in to the reviews. So I'll start off with Countdown. Now, this film was incredibly silly going into it, and I was really looking forward to it. How this was a Blumhouse movie, or how it wasn't a Blumhouse movie, I should say, I don't know, because this is just Blumhouse all over. This movie is essentially about a killer app, where if you download it, it tells you when you're going to die, and you can't escape that fate. And I have to say, I just absolutely love the concept. As dumb as it is, I was just really looking forward to it, and in the end, I actually really enjoyed it. While the movie was pretty bad, it's not awful, but a couple of the characters are actually quite likable in this, and they are kind of the only saving grace of the movie, like, on an objective standpoint. The script is woeful, the lighting is far too dim most of the time, so you can't even really see what's going on for a lot of the scenes, which kind of ruin the movie. However, I would be lying if I said I didn't have a good time with this movie, and I think that overall, I think The Countdown... Don't go into this expecting anything good. Don't go into it expecting like it's going to be a good movie, because it just isn't. But if you're looking for just a dumb horror movie, like if you're just sitting around at home and say if this comes on Netflix, there's nothing wrong with going and checking this movie out. I'm sure you'll have a good time. I wouldn't necessarily recommend go paying to see it in the cinema, but again, if it's on Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever it may be, and you just want to get drunk and watch a good horror, just a dumb horror movie, you can't go wrong with this. Next up, we have Dr. Sleep. Now, Dr. Sleep is, of course, the long-awaited sequel to The Shining. Now, I saw The Shining the night before I watched Dr. Sleep for the very first time, and I loved it. I absolutely loved The Shining. I thought it was a brilliant movie. I completely understand why everyone, like, sort of holds it as the horror masterpiece that it is. I just think that, you know, The Shining is absolutely incredible, and I was a bit worried that I wasn't going to like it as much as everybody else. I was a bit worried that, you know, because I wasn't as, like, you know, has as much nostalgia for it and things like that, that I wasn't going to fall in love with the movie as much as most people have, but I absolutely did. I love the movie. I thought it was phenomenal. So I was interested to see Dr. Sleep. I was very cautiously optimistic going into this film, because the trailers didn't particularly impress me, and I think that the look of the movie was very, very strange. It didn't feel like a sequel to The Shining to me. It didn't feel like it was in that same world. Now, Dr. Sleep, well, it had some very interesting ideas, some very good performances, especially Ewan McGregor, in particular, as older Danny Torrance was a good performance in my opinion. Also, I did enjoy Rebecca Ferguson a lot as the villain, Rose the Hat. Rose the Hat overall was a very cool villain, I thought. Like, her and her kind of traveling gypsy gang were very, very cool villains. This film, from a filmmaking standpoint, really has nothing going for it. Like, this movie is really bland. I think that the shot composition, the cinematography, everything about it, the editing, it's just really bland, and nothing about it particularly stands out. It's kind of one of those films that, again, it has a really good idea and a really cool story. I feel like this film, you know, obviously this is an adaptation of the book. I think the book would probably play much better. I know someone who recently picked up the book, so I'll ask her what she thinks of the book after she's read it, in comparison to the film. But I think that, you know, this is a lot more suited to a book, because it has a lot of good ideas, but it's really not able to be translated well because the filmmaking is so bland. And it's strange, because this comes from Mike Flanagan, who directed The Haunting of Hill House over on Netflix, which I've not seen myself, but I've heard a lot of great things about. And I didn't really see much talent among this filmmaking, because it just didn't really stand out to me in any way, shape, or form. And it all kind of culminates in this third act, which was absolutely abysmal in its originality. I get the idea that obviously they wanted to do a throwback to The Shining, absolutely no issue with that. But this movie completely recreates basically the third act of The Shining, just swaps the characters around, and that didn't really do anything for me, because I thought, well, I thought this movie was going to do something different. I didn't really mind the idea of returning to the Overlook Hotel, but as soon as we got there, I could just see exactly what they were doing. They were just recreating all the shots. They were trying to, you know, basically replicate all the greatness of The Shining, but just in a worse way. And kind of similar to Lion King in that way, it just comes across as a bit lazy, and I didn't really enjoy it. Next up, we have Midway. My god. I thought that this movie was going to be bad, but I didn't know it was going to be this bad. Midway is kind of atrocious. The film is filled with poor performances across the board from everybody, because everyone is not playing characters, they're all playing caricatures, which I found borderline offensive, given the fact that this movie is based on true events, and these actors are playing real people. And, you know, there are some weird acting choices in this particular movie as well, especially because there are some good actors in here, people like Aaron Eckhart and Woody Harrelson. I'd say Woody Harrelson is kind of the only actor who gives a realistic-ish performance, but he's still just being Woody Harrelson. The standout actor for this for me is actually Alexander Ludwig from Vikings, and he actually dies within like the first 5 minutes. So that was really a shame. But this is just borderline offensive to me with how poorly acted and how kind of over the top the acting is in this film. And this isn't helped by the absolutely dreadful script, which made this one of the most over-the-top and patriotic films of late. And I think that Midway, you know, it's supposed to be a film that's supposed to really celebrate and really, you know, give tribute to this event and the people involved. But again, it really felt like this film was just made to be really entertaining, and a really entertaining action film with all of these really obvious caricatures and cliches, that it just kind of came across as disrespectful, and I didn't really enjoy the direction it went in, and I do believe that a lot of the blame comes down to Roland Emmerich. Whoever felt Roland Emmerich was the right choice to direct a World War II biopic movie, I don't know who made that decision, but quite frankly, they clearly should not be in the position they're in, because this was a really bad decision. Roland Emmerich is the known director of movies like The Day After Tomorrow and Independence Day, big disaster movies. This, I guess I can kind of see a correlation between disaster movies and this movie, but in the end of the day, this had to have a lot more heart to it and a lot more of a personal touch, and Roland Emmerich was not the director to do that. And then we have The Good Liar, which was a movie I personally really enjoyed. I thought this movie was really good. I really got a kick out of the story here. You know, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's not seen it, but there is a really good central mystery and drama going on here between these two characters played by Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren, who both do fantastic jobs with their top-notch performances. Also, Russell Tovey's in this movie. He does a brilliant job with the acting as well. I'm a big fan of Russell Tovey. He's done a lot. I've also met the guy. He's really nice. So I really like all the performances here. They really help to sell this story, because this story really kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. If you like a good thriller, definitely give this a watch. It's one of those that really keeps you on the edge of your toes, really keeps you guessing, and always keeps you kind of backtracking on yourself to try and keep up with all the twists and turns that happen within the movie. And I think that this one, again, it's definitely a good watch. If you enjoy a good British film, if you enjoy a good mystery film, I think you will enjoy The Good Liar, as I did. And finally, we have Last Christmas. Now, this film, of course, is the latest from Paul Feig, who has done a lot of great comedy work throughout the years recently. And this film stars Emilia Clarke as and also Henry Golding, who I absolutely adore. And for me, Last Christmas, it was an absolute joy to watch. While it does have its flaws, I think it more than makes up for them with its positive messages, its adorable characters, and also its fantastic music. Of course, this film pays tribute to George Michael and all of his music, and also Wham in general. Obviously, the film named after Last Christmas, which is arguably the best Christmas song. Sound off in the comment section down below on that one. But I do enjoy all the music in this. You really get a good, you know, if you like George Michael, which let's be honest, who doesn't, you're gonna love all the music in this particular film. And it definitely got me in the Christmas spirit. Like, this is kind of like the first major Christmas movie we've gotten this year from the major studios, and I think that this is a really good one to kick off with. It's really funny, it's really adorable, it's likable, it has an emotional hit to it, and I think that all the performances are great. Like Michelle Yeoh, Emma Thompson is brilliant in this. She is also a producer on it. Also, Emilia Clarke is as lovable as ever, as is Henry Golding, who I absolutely love. Them two as a couple were just, like, adorable. Even though they didn't have, like, the best, like, I didn't particularly buy them as a couple all the time, I still loved their chemistry overall, just because they were really cute together, especially because Henry Golding is just, like, really bizarre. It's like a really bizarre performance from him, but it's really good. And overall, I think Paul Feig did a really good job. He's done, yet again, another movie I really, really liked. So what did you guys think about all the movies we spoke about today? Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Which of these was your favorite? How would you rank them? And what would you rate them? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more movie reviews and movie related videos just like this one, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload from me. And I hope to see you guys again next time.